Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now, stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on my podcast. I hope you guys are having a great week thus far. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart that I absolutely love. If you do not know this about me, I'm going to let you know I absolutely love football. I'm a football girl. And I witnessed something last weekend when I was watching the Alabama-Georgia game that was just... It was a tearjerker, on so many levels, especially if you knew the story behind what happened. It really played out like a Hollywood movie. I came across this excerpt from a guy named Wade Weathers, and I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to read the whole thing, but it's only like a certain aspect of it I want to talk to you about. But just check this out. He says, "I'm in no way an Alabama fan. Having said that, kids take note of what just happened with Jalen Hurts. The guy wins 26 games in 2 years. He leads his team to the playoffs both years. He gets benched in the national championship game. He has his starting job taken from him by a better player. Nowadays, that's when 99% of players either quit or transfer. But not this guy. Sits the bench the whole year, works his tail off to become a better player, and has to come in and lead his team to come from behind to win the SEC championship. This is what sports should be about. Parents, let your kid fall so they can learn how to deal with it and become better because of that failure." He said, let your kid fail. Parents, let your kid fail so they can learn how to deal with it and become better because of that failure. Sports can teach you a lot about life if you will let it. Jalen, thank you for setting an example of what being a great teammate looks like. When asked what made him stay at Alabama and not transfer, Jalen responded, "When I put it in God's hands, and he handled it for me." So according to Jalen, that's what made him stay. He said, I put it in God's hands, and once I put it in God's hands, he took care of it for me. For him, he didn't see a way out. He didn't think it was a reason to leave. He just said, I'm going to put this in God's hands. I'm going to keep working hard, and I'm going to stay focused. Y'all don't know how much that story touched me, and it was so timely for me on a personal level. It was so timely. And the thing that I think is so amazing is that if you were watching the commentary, right after the game, they interview the coaches and the players and stuff. Immediately after, because Alabama won, they immediately went to Coach Saban. Saban was tearing up. I've never seen that man tear up before, but he was teary-eyed, and he was talking about Jalen, and as a coach, he had to do what he needed to do. And something that God was showing me, he was like, yeah, Robin, you might feel played right now, because it looks like something better came along and now you're not good enough and now they're not checking for you no more, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they thought, and y'all, oh Lord, this is just touching me on such a deep level. Because I had, let me see, 1, 2, I think 3. There's a third thing, but I can't remember. So I'm going to just say, I know for sure 2 things happened to me recently that literally, if I was not a woman of God, if I was not a person who really trusted God at his word, if I was not a person who really spent time with God, I could have been completely devastated. Okay? And it's funny, y'all, because Jalen's last name is Hurts. Okay? And Hurts like Hurts, like hurt your feelings, I thought that even that was symbolic of what what's going on, because I was like, yeah, he hurting him, all right. You know, I got like little corny jokes like, boy, Jalen, he hurting him because his name is Hurts. But it really made me think about my situation and even yours. Like, I don't even know who I'm talking to, but let me just give you a bit of encouragement. You could be that person, like I said a moment ago, and you know, you were the one balling, you were the one doing everything, and then somebody else came in. But let me tell y'all something about God. Let me tell you about the God we serve. You hear me? That boy was the one that took them to 2 championships and 26 wins in 2 years. He was the one that held them down. And when somebody that looked seemingly better came along, guess what? When it was time for it to go down again, he went down. And nothing against the young man, but he got hurt and he couldn't play again. And, you know, I hate when that happens, but I've also seen in sports, this has happened for multiple years, multiple times, hundreds of times with different players. How many times have you seen somebody get benched and they rise from the ashes and they come back and they reclaim their spot? How many of you are listening and you know that you literally got knocked off the box because somebody else came in, or maybe somebody else didn't come in, but somebody might have just thought you weren't good enough. Maybe they wasn't feeling it. And let me tell you something, that's okay. There's no need to be mad at somebody if they don't think you worthy enough or they don't think you good enough. It's not your job to prove them otherwise, y'all. You don't even need to get no attitude like, well, I'm going to show them for what? Oh my God, show yourself. Show God. Let me tell you why. Jalen didn't say, when I put it in my boys' hands, everything changed. He didn't say, well, when I took matters into my own hands, I got here. He said, no, I put it in God's hands and he handled it. So I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who hands you put the problem in after they broke your heart, after they played you, after you lost a job, after they left you, after you didn't get the opportunity you thought you were gonna get, after they don't want to be your friend no more, or you know they wanna do it without you, they want to start the business without you. Y'all, it don't matter what it is. How many of you had that experience and then you went the wrong way with it? You said, well, you know what? I'ma handle it. I'ma show them better than I could tell them. You know what? You're going to be showing yourself how stupid you're going to look in a little bit. I can promise you that. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. History and wisdom has taught me what Jalen did. If he keep living like that, he going to have a nice, fruitful life. He done already faced hard times and turmoil, and he's already been attacked because he had to fall down. But baby, we fall down 7 times, and what? We get back up 8. That man got back up on that 8th time, and he handled his business. And let me tell you how dope it was. Not only did God illuminate this child and bless this boy, I got chills saying this, but y'all, he's a quarterback and he ran in for the touchdown. You hear me? He ran in for the touchdown. It was like that boy just went out in a blaze of glory, y'all. It was so beautiful to see, because the thing you have to understand is so many of us feel played right now. But you don't have no reason to feel played, because sometimes God has to put you to the side. Sometimes God have to let you get played, y'all. I'm telling you, sometimes he has to let you get played so that he could get the glory. But not only did God get the glory, y'all, but it also gave him he got the glory too. He got all of the winning glory Saturday night. So God not only got uplifted and acknowledged, but Jalen was put back up where he knew he was supposed to be. But when they shut him down and cut him off, he didn't start badmouthing him. He didn't start cutting up. He didn't do any of that. He didn't do any of that. He just handled his business. When the door came open again for him to show what kind of stuff he had, what kind of chops he had, he did what he had to do. And guess what? It panned out. That young man said, when I put it in God's hands, he handled it for me. I need you listening to put it in God's hands so he can handle it for you. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again, and see you next time.